Happy New Year! She says 22 days later. Hey guys, first video of the year. I did post one the other day of me propagating bougainvilleas. Check that one out. Anyway, just gonna show you what's going on in my garden, which is not much because we're in the middle of winter, but it's super nice today. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I'm gonna fertilize my garlic. I planted these about 11 weeks ago. So I'm gonna put a little bit of fish fertilizer in there. That way when it rains tomorrow, it'll get soaked in there. Some of them didn't come out. Like maybe 4 little cells didn't grow. Maybe the bulb was too small. I don't know what happened, but. And last year, I don't even think I put, the first year I did, I put, I think, blood meal. And like I said, it's 11 weeks since I put the bulbs. And 2 years ago, I think I added blood meal. They came out nicely. And last year, I don't even think I added anything. And they were a bit smaller, but they still grew. So don't forget to fertilize. Sometimes I forget, or I'm lazy, or it's past the time, and I just don't do anything. It's called lazy gardening, yo. I still got garlic, so it's fine. It was about 2 ounces. 2 ounces of this in a gallon of water. Well, this was, I think, less than a gallon. So I put a little less. Anyway, that's for my garlic. And my onions, I'll probably put blood meal in a couple of weeks. The garlic, you want to feed it again when it's about 6 inches high. This one's probably 6 inches high. This one's a little taller. But since they were all pretty tall, it needed to be given some food. What else? This is what's going on over here. My alyssum is out of control. This is dead, but I leave it because the birds, you guys, I'm a bird person now. I went to tour somebody's garden, and she told me next step was being a bird watcher. And yes, that's what I'm becoming. From my kitchen, I like sit there and see if there's any birds coming. And my daughter, she got that for Christmas, the little bird feeder. So we put seeds in there, so now more birds are coming, of course. Anyway, this is pretty sad looking over here. Let's see. I put leaves as mulch for my 3 pots right here. This one had the blue mist, and it's still gonna come out. It dies down to nothing in the winter, but she'll come back. And I think these are petunias, and they're looking pretty nice. This one I put ranunculus in here, and you can see they're coming out already. When they start to get a little bit bigger, I'll put some more fertilizer in there. And then this one was my beautiful canna. It was my beautiful canna, but we got a couple of freezes last week. So womp womp, I didn't cover it, you know, because only the strong survive in my garden. But I'm pretty sure she'll come back, so we'll see. And these geraniums were so pretty too. Looks like they froze, but it looks green still. Got something else coming out over here. But other than that, this is dead. This is my onions that I just planted maybe 2-3 weeks ago. These are the starters. I got them from Dixondale. They were starters, and I planted them 3 weeks ago. My flower garden, I think this is dill. I planted dill like 1 time, so now it comes out on its own, and I love it because when it bolts, I get a lot of the aphids on there, and they stay away from my apple tree. My plumbago is pretty much dead, but she'll resuscitate in spring. And then I have a bunch of verbena coming out, and my autumn sedum joy I think has finally died. I'm so sad. I'm hoping she comes back, but we shall see. I need to prune my apple tree because she has a lot of suckers going straight up. But the rest of my flower garden seems half dead, half alive. My gazanias always seem to stay evergreen, which I love. And in the front of my garden, in my front yard, I planted like 27 last year, and more than half of them died. But I think they reseeded themselves, so I have a bunch of babies in the front yard, so I'm super excited about that. But I love gazanias because look at how pretty the flower is. We're in the middle of winter and it still has flowers. It's still evergreen. I haven't came and cleaned her out in a while. But I love gazanias. There's that one, this one, and this orange one. And looks like only the pink. Usually the orange one is the one that's the prettiest. But today the little purple one is thriving. Everything else is kind of half dead, half alive. I do have ranunculus coming out. I planted another like 50 or 100 bulbs in November. So they're already coming out. These are the ranunculus. And these will be the first ones to have flowers in spring. I'll show you some pictures of last year of the couple that I put over there. And they're so pretty, so bright. I love them. But again, I planted those in November and they're already coming out. And my African daisies look pretty shoddy. And those usually stay evergreen too, but I don't know, the other day that it got too cold, everything wilted. Oh my gosh, my amaryllis was so big. It was up to here, my amaryllis. And again, only the strong survive. I'm not gonna baby my plants out here. I'm not gonna cover anything because I forget and I'm lazy. And if you survive, you survive. If you don't, sorry about that. But it still hurts my heart, right? This was my amaryllis. It was so big and green and gorgeous. And I do kind of regret not babying it. But I mean, hopefully she comes back. I feel like it was like 2 months to go to get a flower, but she didn't make it. Let's see what else. My pin cushions were really nice. Also, like 2 weeks ago, I had pin cushions, and then my little carnations had carnations, really pretty. But yeah, after the frost, everything kind of went kerplunk. And I usually cut down everything in about another month. It's January 22nd today. I'll cut everything down about mid-February if I get too antsy. Last year, I think I cut it down mid-February and everything was fine. So we'll see when I cut everything back down. Most of these things that I have here in my flower garden are perennials, which means they'll come back. They kind of die down to nothing and then they'll rebloom all by themselves. Most of the things. I had vincas here, and the vincas do die. They're not perennials, but they throw seeds down and sometimes they come back. As well as the petunias. I have petunias that grow on their own over there. Again, they die to nothing. I think they're annuals, but seeds fall and they'll come back. So yay. Over here where I threw down the cover crop, it's pretty green. I don't water it, I don't do anything, and it grew pretty nicely. I was trying to break up the soil. And as you can see here, the daikon radish, look at how tall it is. Because I feel like at the bottom, there's probably a rock or caliche, and it can't even go down. So it comes up. And this one's, like, if you see this one, how tall it is also, because I don't think it could go down. So I don't know whether to dig this up to take off some of that rock or just leave it as is with the no-till gardening. But I think that no-till only applies to people that don't have rocks and cement under their dirt. Again, if you haven't heard me, when the contractors work on houses here, they like to throw cement and, you know, cans and whatever they find into the dirt. So that's what happens. So I might have to dig this up and remove some of the rock, because I'm going to put an arch trellis here, like with cattle panel, and put loofahs, because I really want to grow loofahs so my family can bathe with that instead of plastic sponges. So new honey to do is that trellis, except got into a little car accident and now we don't have a truck. So now we have to borrow a truck from I don't know who to get my trellis, my cattle panel. And my neighbors, because I have awesome neighbors that they're gonna move, two of them, two different neighbors that are so sweet to me, are going to move. So sad. Anyway, one of them gifted me a raised bed, but it didn't even fit through the door because it's about about 3 feet by 6 feet, but the 3 feet width doesn't go through the door. So we'll see how we get it through. That's the dirt from that raised bed, so that's why that's there, because I'm going to put the raised bed here. Not sure what I'm going to grow in it, but we shall see. That is my next projects for 2026. Let's go this way. This one I also didn't baby. I just bought it. I think like in September, October, November. And I was like, I'll put her in the greenhouse, but she didn't fit, so I left her out here. And since we weren't getting any freezes, I'm like, she'll survive, but looks like she didn't. So we'll see if she comes back. Over here, I had a bunch of, oh, my husband's pointing. You can speak, you know.
Oh, yeah, Mike. Let him know.
My husband's pointing because if you followed me for the past literally 2 years, I saw it in a video the other day. I was like, man, it's been that long. For 2 years, he's been trying to fix this leak that was here, and it just wasn't happening, and he finally fixed it. Yay, honey. He fixed it. So now, this year, I'm going to put my brick pavers. But everything happens for a reason. I was going to put brick pavers in this whole area, but now I'm just going to put brick pavers here in the walkway. And over here, I'm going to kind of leave it dirt, put a little raised bed here by my window, and put some flowers, maybe like zinnias or something. So worked out. That way I'll leave this area open just in case some leaks happen again.
They won't.
They won't. So yay for that. Over here, I had my vincas, and I got a ton of seeds before this all froze over. These are the little pods. They look dark. And once they open up, there's seeds inside. So I'll show you guys how many I've collected. And I collected a bunch of seeds before this froze over. And now I'm going to cut it because last year I cut it at the beginning of January. Like I said, we're like in week 3 of January. Last year I cut it before it froze. I cut it down and then I covered it. I'll show you guys a video. And then it came back very nicely. I'll show you guys some pictures. So right now I'm going to cut it too and then close it, and hopefully they'll come back. And also, like I said, vincas are annuals, which means, as you can see, they pretty much died because they can't tolerate a freeze. But like I said, there's a bunch of seeds. So every time I saw some seeds that I didn't collect, I would throw some in here. I would throw some, and if you could tell here, there's already some growing that didn't freeze. I don't know if they're growing from seed or if they're coming out of the stem. Anyway, I'm going to cut these right now really quick so I could close the treasure chest. And this treasure chest, I got it from my husband's grandma. It was my husband's grandma's, but it had like a really strong smell. So I like having little vintage items in my house. I'll show you my 2 grandma's sewing machines that I have in there. But this one had a really bad smell. I didn't want it indoors. So that's why I made it into a bed, a garden bed. And I think it's beautiful. So again, last year I did this before these froze, and they came back nicely, or I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it was the same ones or if again they came back from seed. But this is what I did last year. Cut them down up to here. Show you guys. I also added this guy. Forgot what it is. It's the one with the purple flower. I can't think of the name right now. But I added this one this year. Anyway, we're gonna get some rain tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday, hopefully. So I'll come and open it so it could like rain in there, but for now I'm gonna close it. This is what I did last year. Worked out nicely. My grape isn't doing too well. Froze, but this is what she did last year, I think. So we'll just let her be and see what happens. Oh, cute buckets at Lowe's. Commercial time. I'm just kidding. No, but really, go on the link and you could get these cute buckets from my link. I put coconut core in here because I mixed it for my seedlings. I'll show you guys that I started seeds indoors. So I was mixing it. You have to put the coconut core, you put water in there, and then it absorbs it, and you get that. Instead of using, what was it the other day I told you?
The chicken poop?
No, instead of that other one I told you, no, we're using coconut core because that one's bad.
Yeah. Something with the L?
L?
I think, no? With an A? B, C, D, E, F, G.
You're so helpful. Oh my gosh. Peat moss. You were not even close.
You didn't let me finish.
Peat moss. Instead of using peat moss, you read it's bad for the environment. We use coconut core now, people. All right. So let me show you my seedlings that I'm starting indoors. Because again, not much is going on outside, but I wanted to show you guys what's happening anyway. This is my little greenhouse that I have indoors. And I was growing the bougainvilleas that I told you at the beginning of the video that I propagated. I had them in here for a while, but now I have my seedlings, and that's what I use the coconut core for. And I have calendula, celosia, lemon balm, parsley, cucumber, bunch onion, chives, pincushions, larkspur, portulaca, more petunias, chickweed, more petunias. Because I'm trying to grow petunias so I don't have to buy them this year. So I could put them in my pots in the front yard. And today, just a while ago, I picked up a worm farm. Yay! So excited. Let me show you. Right here, this is my new worm farm. Yay! It's small, but let's start off small. This is the first time I have a worm farm. It's red wigglers, I think. And she's prepped it for me. I just picked it up about an hour ago. She said she fed it. And the worms, where are they? They're in here somewhere.
They're in the bottom.
They're in the bottom, huh? And guess what else I got? I got a spider. She said there was a spider in here and it's been living in here for a while, she said.
2 years?
For 2 years. And it has a symbiotic relationship with the worms, and she just lives in there. How cute, right? I'm so excited. She's like, weird question. Do you want the spider that lives in there? And I'm like, yes, I want the spider. I have a spider tattooed on me. That's how much I love spiders. Look at them. Come look. Look at it cute. Look. See that? Ah! I don't want to bother them too much. Can you see it or no?
No, but go more.
Here's one. Right here. Look at this cutie. What should we name her? she tickles. I told my son that I was gonna get a worm farm yesterday, and he was so excited. He's like, "Can I go with you?" I was like, "Well, I'm kind of gonna go when you're in school." And he's just excited, so can't wait to show them. Anywho, that's what's going on in my garden. Not much, but wanted to show you guys what I'm doing in January. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. If you're from El Paso, send me a message because I always like getting those. Thanks for watching. See you later.